Hello, everyone. You are once again welcome to this video lecture. And we continue to look at educational technology. And in this video lecture, we shall focus our attention on realia, or what we call the real objects. And when we talk of realia, we mean the real objects from the teacher's environment that a teacher uses to, ease learning in the teaching and learning process. So these are objects. They are objects from real life used in the classroom instruction by educators to improve students' understanding of the concepts, to improve or increase the students' understanding of the content that is being covered. So realia are actually actual things that can be incorporated to the lesson by the teacher. And these actual things are meant to simplify the content, are meant to simplify concepts, whether they are hard concepts or they are easy concepts, but they will be simplified once real life objects are used. And of course, these authentic materials aid the teacher in delivering the most authentic and useful lesson possible. And they can be living or non-living things. And of course, depending on the topic that you are handling, you may opt to go for living things, living objects that you can bring to class to illustrate or to simplify what you are teaching, or they can be non-living. They can be non-living objects. And therefore, as a teacher, at whatever level, you always have to think of the real objects that you are going to take to class, so that you can simplify the teaching and learning process. And every topic that you look at under your subject, it must have realia. If it is not having realia, then it must have models, as we shall be seeing later on in this, in this video. So any teacher, once you are allocated to teach a subject, and for every subject, you always have to think of realia. Because realia will, make learning easy, will make learning simpler, will assist learners to easily grasp the content. And of course, there must be different kinds of realia based on the subject you are teaching. If you are a teacher handling chemistry, you'll have realia in line with chemistry. If you're handling biology, you'll have realia in line with biology. Whatever subject you have, and there is no subject that does not have realia, you will only be limited just by your creativity. Because these realia can be drawn from your home environment, from your school environment, so they are readily available. So you'll be as limited as your creativity. Now, realia are real objects, such as real specimens of plants or animals, and real machines or tools, they are known to exist or use it in life situations. So we call them realia. If, for example, you are handling, let us go to the very basic. If you are, for example, a teacher of, let me say, nursery section. You are in kindergarten, and you are teaching learners body parts. Now, in this case, one of the learners can act as a realia. So you can pick one of the learners from class, and this learner will act as a realia. If you want to show the learners the head, then you will touch the head, they will see the head. If they want to see, for example, the hands, the palms, they will see the palms. If they want to see the chest, they will see the chest. If they want to see the forehead, they will see the forehead. The eyes, they will see the eyes. The ears, they will see the eyes. So in that case, realia will be one of the learners who can just be taken out of those many learners, and then you put the learner in front. So that one becomes realia. So that is just an example. And the realia, as I have already said, will vary from subject to subject. You always have to think in line with your subject and also in line with your topic. Realia can be used in presenting fascinating learning experiences while improving the retention of concepts learned. So we say that when you use realia, then you improve the grasp of the concepts that are learned in the lesson. Why? Because there is learning by association. Learners, for example, if you are teaching the younger minds, you are teaching those younger minds in kindergarten, those babies in kindergarten, and you put one of their friends in front to explain the body parts, they will never forget, because they will be associating the person who is standing there and the different body parts, so they will never forget. So that's why we say that they increase the learning experiences, but at the same time improving the retention or the easy understanding and grasp of the learned concepts. So there are two categories of realia that you must always think of in respect to your teaching subject. Those studied in their natural setting as they occur in a real life situation. So there are realia that will be studied within their environment. And the reason for that could be because they are bulky. They cannot be moved. But also apart from being bulky, some of them may be immovable. If, for example, you want to show learners, let me say, Mount Rwenzori, you're not going to carry Mount Rwenzori onto the classroom. If you want to show learners Mount Kilimanjaro, you are not going to carry Mount Kilimanjaro into the classroom. If you want to show them Lake Victoria, you are not going to carry Lake Victoria into the classroom. You're not going to carry River Nile into the classroom. So those are realia that occur in their natural setting, and it is now the learners that can go to them. So those are studied in their natural setting. If, for example, you want to study reptiles, you are a teacher of maybe biology, and you are teaching a topic on reptiles. You are not going to carry a crocodile into the classroom. You are not going to carry a python, a snake into the classroom. So some of these are studied within their natural environment. So it is now upon you as a teacher to think, depending on the topic that you are handling, to say, now I'm handling this topic. What kind of realia do I need? And then, is this kind of realia that I can carry into the classroom? Or it is the kind of realia where I can take the learners? Now, we have the second category, where those that can be brought to the classroom, the real objects can be used in all stages of the classroom. You can use the realia at the introduction, you can use the realia during delivery, during presentation, or you could bring it at the end, at the conclusion. So those are the two main categories. And now for you as a teacher, based on the subject that you are handling, you always have to think. You always have to plan ahead to know what kind of realia that you need for that particular topic. And where will you find that realia? Is it the kind of realia that cannot be moved, and therefore you have to take learners there? Or it is the kind of realia that you can easily get and then take into the classroom? So that one is upon you to think and make a rational decision. Now, I have already said that for every teacher, and by the way, sometimes we make a mistake. We go to class without any realia, without any model, without any teaching aids, without sometimes even any instructional materials. You just carry your notes, or maybe just a textbook, or maybe handwritten notes, and then you go to class. Now, there you are just dealing with the content. But content needs to be simplified. How is the content simplified? It is simplified through the use of such a thing that we are talking about. And therefore, this brings us to the advantages of realia. It is better for us to appreciate the advantages of these realia, so that whenever you plan to teach, you don't forget to think about the kind of realia that you will take to class. And I'm saying this should be for every lesson. One, they are easily available. And I have said you have to scan your environment. Your home environment, your school environment, it can be your church or your mosque environment, wherever you go to worship, you can easily find these realia. Two, they stimulate the learner's interest. Because why is the learner's interest stimulated? Because the learners are able to handle, they are able to manipulate, they are able to observe. Make learners curious. That attracts their attention to content. They will become curious because they want to observe, they want to find out more about the realia. It provides the learners with a direct experience which lacks in other types of resources. Direct experience in the sense that the learners are able to manipulate, they are able to touch, they are able to feel, and so on and so forth. It allows the learners to use several senses. The sense of seeing, they will see the realia. The sense of feeling, they can touch and then feel. The sense of smell, they can, for example, if a realia is brought into the classroom, they are able to smell and feel and do all sorts of things. Now, encourage learners to develop some essential skills, such as the skill of observation, gathering of items, and preservation. Now, here, it's not a must that it is you, the teacher, who will always look for these realia. Depending on the topic, because your learners come from different settings, from different places. So you ask your learners, you send them for some of these items. If, for example, you want to teach about something and it is not within your environment, but it could be within the environment of one of the learners. Therefore, it is you now to send the learners to send them for what you want. Enable learners to appreciate what the environment can offer, provide focus away from the written word. So now they focus their attention from the written word to what they are able to observe. So students are helped to use the real-life materials to understand anything that they want. So, dear members, we can now take a short break, and when we return, we shall pick on from here. So, thank you so much for your